From 2009 to 2010, I wrote a series of short stories every week at the local bowling alley. Violent in nature, they were crammed into the bowling bag of one Phyllis Fletcher, the namesake of the title character of the series. Kept in that same bag for over a decade, the stories were unearthed in late 2020 and are being shared today in their original form. 1. One day, P.Fletch and her miniature-sized friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. "What do you guys want to do today?" Hannah asked.
"I want to go to the movies with my new boyfriend, Don Don, and make out with him,"
P.Fletch replied. "P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today," Zach said. "We're gonna make a 2-minute introductory video for bowling starring you, Hannah, and Don Don." So Don Don came over, and production began. During the couple scene, Hannah played Don Don's girlfriend, and P.Fletch was a little annoyed.
"He's mine! Why can't I play his girlfriend?"
P.Fletch yelled. "Because, P.Fletch, you're younger than him, and he just looks better for this movie with Hannah," Zach said. P.Fletch still wasn't happy, but she was okay enough for the scene to get finished. Until the kiss. Don Don leaned in for an unplanned kiss.
"Oh, hell no,"
P.Fletch yelled. She leaped onto Don and grabbed a 32-pound bowling ball. She pounded his head until the table was covered in guts and blood. Then she turned her attention to Hannah.
"You skank!"
P.Fletch chased Hannah down the slippery lane and pushed her underneath the pin setter.
"Bye-bye, Hannah."
The pin setter came down, crushing Hannah, spraying her blood and guts everywhere. P.Fletch, drenched in the blood and guts of Hannah and Don Don, walked away content. 2. After makeout friend from high school's funeral, P.Fletch, Zach, and Hannah were again sitting doing nothing. "What do you guys want to do today?" asked Hannah.
"I want to go to the movies with Kurt, my other makeout friend from school,"
P.Fletch replied. "P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a movie with Kurt, P.Fletch's makeout friend, as the star," Zach said. Kurt came over, and the movie Rambo was to be started. Julie Hannaway, Rambo's sexy mate, starred as Hannaway, Rambo's mate. P.Fletch was uber jealous.
"You step off my Rambo, hussy,"
she demanded. She tackled Hannaway and pulled all her hair out. "Guys, cut it out! You're scaring me!" Hannah said. No, this is perfect for the movie. P.Fletch could be Rambo's ex-girlfriend who is very jealous, Zach said.
"Too late,"
P.Fletch said.
"I killed her,"
she finished. She went over and planted one dead on Rambo's toothless mouth.
"Now, baby, let's get married,"
she said. And so they were wed for 2 months before Rambo, Kurt, was hit by an oncoming SUV. He died on impact and was never found. 3. After P.Fletch became Widow Fletch, the trio was yet again sitting doing nothing. "What are we gonna do today?" Hannah asked.
"I want to go to the movies with my new makeout friend, Roger, the ticket seller,"
P.Fletch said. "P.Fletch, I want to do this. We'll make a soap opera starring P.Fletch and Roger. Roger will be dating P.Fletch, but he is cheating on her. Bum, 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 Zach said. So the soap opera, All My Tickets, was started. Susie Baxter was cast as Michelle Obama, Roger's other love interest.
"Kiss me, Raji,"
she said.
"Oh, no, you don't,"
P.Fletch said. She ran up, kicked Baxter in the face, knocked her back, and broke all of her limbs. While Baxter was lying in pain, P.Fletch went over, dipped Roger, and gave him a wet, soppy French kiss. They were married the same day. Baxter lived, but held a horrible grudge against P.Fletch. Whilst stalking Roger, Baxter shot him in both hands and in the leg. He died. Bum, bum, bum! 4. Widow Fletch, once known as P.Fletch, and her child-sized friends were yet again doing nothing. "What do you guys want to do today?" Hannah asked.
I have to go to the movies with my ex-husband makeout friend,
P.Fletch said. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a YouTube video where your ex-husband makeout friend leaves you for Hannah, Zach said. Yes! I finally get to do something in these stories! Yes! Hannah exclaimed. Ex-makeout friend came over and production was started. I love you, Mr. Fletch, Hannah said.
Oh, no, you don't!
P.Fletch exclaimed. She pounced over Hannah, pushed her down, and proceeded to punch her. Realizing what she was doing, she stopped. She ran over, said,
Take me back, honey,
and planted one dead on him. They were married. While doing paperwork, ex-husband got a paper cut and bled to death. 5. Widow cubed P.Fletch and her midget-sized talking child friends were again doing nothing. What are we gonna do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with my married makeout friend, Ed Kelsey,
P.Fletch said. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a puppet show with Ed leaving his wife, Hannah, for you, P.Fletch. But secretly, he's cheating on you with, me. So Ed came over, and the puppets were made. Ed Puppet said, Baby, will you make out with me? Zach Puppet said, Heck yes!
Heck no!
P.Fletch said. She pounced on Zach Puppet and Zach. While punching Puppet Zach, she began punching real Zach. She stopped. She leaned over to Ed. She planted one dead on his denture-filled mouth. She was yet again married. Ed died from third-degree burns from his coffee 2 days later. In memoriam of Edgar Kelsey. 6. Widow Fletch, a.k.a. P.Fletch, and her dwarf, old-for-their-age friends were sitting doing nothing. What are we gonna do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with my married makeout friend, Dick Swanger,
P.Fletch said. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a Christian education video starring Dick as God/Jesus, Hannah as the Virgin Mary, and me as Joseph. P.Fletch, you'll be Mary Magdalene, Zach said. So Dick came over and production was started. Now I bestow this child upon you, Virgin Mary, God said.
Bestow upon her? I don't think so,
P.Fletch said. She pushed Hannah down, beat her senseless, then ran over to Dick and said,
Baby, I've loved you from the start,
and planted one on him. They were married. Dick was accidentally shot by Baxter, an old rival of P.Fletch's, during a hunting session 3 days later. 7. Widow times 5 Fletch, once called P.Fletch, and her small, talking, sometimes annoying child friends were sitting, yet again, and for the last time, doing nothing. What are we gonna do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with my newest makeout friend and actor, Gil Grissom,
P.Fletch said. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make a CSI video with Gil as himself, Hannah as the murderer of Gil, and P.Fletch as the inspector, Zach said. So Gil came over and production started. I'll kill you, Gil, Hannah said.
Oh, no, you won't,
P.Fletch said. She pounced on Hannah and kicked her senseless until she was dead. She pulled a gun and said,
Zach, you wanted Gilly to die?
And pulled the trigger. P.Fletch, I'm sorry, but I can't date you. I'm married. She pulled the trigger, but nothing happened. No bullets. There is a sound of a gun being shot. Grissom was dead. Standing, holding a shotgun, was Baxter.
Hello, P.Fletch. Remember me?
She asked.
Susie! OMG! I'm so sorry,
P.Fletch said.
Don't give me that.
Susie said. She pulled the trigger. Widow Fletch, Zach, and Hannah were all dead.
Sweet.
Said Susie Baxter, the ultimate victor. 8. P.Fletch and her very gnome-like friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. What do you guys want to do today? Asked Hannah.
I want to go to the movies with Donald, Lisa's boo, and make out.
P.Fletch replied. P.Fletch, I know what we're going to do today, Zach said. We're going to make a documentary about old women, you, dating younger women's, Lisa, men. So Donald came over and production started. While making out, P.Fletch needed to pee. Lisa ran in and made wild, passionate love with her boo, Donald. P.Fletch came back and became very, very jealous. She grabbed a pencil and stabbed Lisa in the boobs. She then stabbed Donald in the temple, ripped out his heart, showed it to him, then ate it. He died. 9. P.Fletch and her short-legged / armed friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. What do you guys want to do today? Hannah asked her friends.
I want to go to the movies with Carrie's black friend, my secret lover, and make out with him.
P.Fletch replied. P.Fletch, I know what we're going to do today, Zach said. We're going to make a YouTube video starring you and your secret lover, where you do things resulting in a baby. So P.Fletch's secret lover came over and shooting began. During the sex scene, P.Fletch said,
This is nice and all, but I don't feel comfortable with everyone watching me.
So Zach, Hannah, and the production crew left. When the sex scene was over, everyone returned. Meanwhile, P.Fletch's secret lover started to do Hannah. P.Fletch, naturally very, very jealous, beat up Hannah. She kicked her in the face until she realized it was date rape and stopped. She then beat up her secret lover. She throat punched him and kicked him in the temple. He died. 10. P.Fletch and her miniature golf-sized friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. What do you guys want to do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with my makeout friend Roger, the ticket guy, to make out.
P.Fletch replied. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today, Zach said. We're gonna make a short film documenting your love for guys that sell tickets. So Roger the ticket guy came over and production began. In the middle of the wild, passionate dinner scene, P.Fletch said,
Let's take a break and bring in the stunt double.
Hannah, the stunt double, walked in to finish the scene. P.Fletch didn't know, but the script called for a wild night of passionate back rubbing. When the scene came up and Hannah seemed to be enjoying it all too much, P.Fletch became very, very jealous. She ran in with a baseball bat and beat Hannah's head until Hannah didn't know what words were anymore. I am bike cheese, Hannah said. She then turned her attention to Roger the ticket guy.
What is this? We were in love. I thought what we had was special,
she said. Roger simply replied, I was just in it for the wild, passionate back rubs. P.Fletch, fuming mad, kicked Roger the ticket guy in the gonads. She took her bat and bashed in his head. She grabbed his leg and bent it towards his head. He yelled in pain, but that didn't stop P.Fletch. She jammed her high heels in Roger the ticket guy's eye. He died. 11. One day, P.Fletch and her My Little Pony-sized friends were bored with nothing to do. What do you guys want to do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with Carrie's husband, Dion, and make out,
P.Fletch said. P.Fletch, I know what we're going to do today, Zach said. We're going to make a musical called Keno, where you and Dion play the lottery. And Dion wins and leaves you for Hannah. Not again, Hannah said. So Dion came over and production began. Honey, I won, Dion said.
Yes! Now we can finally take our trip to Maui,
P.Fletch replied. No. I'm leaving you for This girl. Dion leaned into Hannah and kissed her passionately, like the script said. P.Fletch wasn't entertained. She ran forward onto the stage and shouted,
"Hey, Hannah, you skank. Back off of Dion. He's my man."
She grabbed the director's chair and beat her with it. Her skull became cracked and her brain was exposed. Hannah begged, "P.Fletch, stop it! It was part of the script! Please don't kill me!"
"Part of the script, you say? Zach!"
P.Fletch turned her attention to writer-director Zach.
"How dare you!"
P.Fletch jumped across the stage and tackled Zach. She punched him until his nose and jaw were broken. Then, while Zach was in tears, P.Fletch turned her attention to Dion. She grabbed the dagger used in the play and ran after Dion. Once she had him pinned down, she grabbed his neck and cut it open. She then stabbed him in both temples and in the chest. Then she pulled down his pants and did the unthinkable. Yes, she cut off his leg. When the leg was detached, she threw it into the audience. Then she yelled,
"You don't mess with the P.Fletch!"
Then 30-plus police officers ran in. Get down right now! P.Fletch responded, not out of compliance, but because she was exhausted. They cuffed her and put her in jail 3 days later. "You're free to go, Ms. Fletch," the guard said.
"How?"
"Someone paid your bail." Standing beside the guard was Baxter. 12. One day, P.Fletch and her now taller than her friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. "What do you guys want to do today?" Hannah asked.
"I want to go to the movies with my new makeout friend, Lori,"
P.Fletch said. "P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today," Zach said. "We're gonna make a Kino backdrop starring you and Lori." So Lori came over and production began. During the passionate love scene between Hannah and Lori, P.Fletch came out of her dressing room.
"What is going on here?"
she yelled. She grabbed the blowhorn and ran up to Hannah. She placed the horn directly over her ear and held down the siren button. Hannah screamed in agony as her ears began to bleed. Just a few more seconds and boom! Her head exploded, spewing blood and brains everywhere. Oh, but P.Fletch wasn't done yet. She ran over to Lori and grabbed her leg. She twisted it all the way up to her neck. All the bones in her leg were shattered. She screamed in pain. P.Fletch then pounced on her back, placed her hands around her neck and twisted. Her neck snapped instantly, killing her. 13. One day not so long ago, P.Fletch and her now taller than her many friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. "What do you guys want to do today?" Hannah asked. "I want to go have some Xmas fun."
"I want to go make out with Trevor, my boyfriend,"
P.Fletch said. "P.Fletch, I know what we're going to do today," Zach said. "We're going to make an infomercial about the iPad." So Trevor came over, and production began. Hannah and Trevor were the salesmen. Zach and P.Fletch stood back and directed. Trevor was flirting with Hannah, which irritated P.Fletch, but thanks to mass dosages of happy pills, all was good. "Looks like nobody's getting killed today." Just kidding. Trevor suddenly suffered massive brain trauma when an overhead light fell. He bled to death. Hannah, depressed, smashed the iPad into her face, leaving shards of glass sticking out of her head. "Ah!" she screamed as she spontaneously burst into flames. 14. One day, P.Fletch and her very talented friend, Aunt Hannah, were sitting bored with nothing to do. "What do you guys want to..." "Shut up, Hannah. I have something to say," Zach interrupted. I do believe we should make a musical. Starring me, because I'm amazing.
Wait. Now that's not how the story normally goes.
P.Fletch said. She grabbed Zach by the hair and said,
Now start over.
So he did. This is what he had to write. One day, P.Fletch was being exceptionally rude, nice, and made Zach write this stupid, great story. So he grabbed a rope and slowly tied it around her neck while she slept. He tied the other end of his makeshift noose to the ceiling fan. He said softly, P.Fletch, wakey wakey, P.Fletch. Phyllis! P.Fletch snapped up. Zach flipped the light switch, turning on the ceiling fan. P.Fletch was ripped out of her bed and spun in circles around the room. She slammed into the walls, creating quite a commotion. Unfortunately, the ceiling fan broke off the wall and P.Fletch fell through the floor into the basement, where every bone in her body snapped, and she lay dead below.
I didn't like any of that,
P.Fletch said. 15. One day, P.Fletch and her honest-to-their-word friends were sitting bored with nothing to do. What do you guys want to do today? Hannah asked.
I want to cheat some more money from Zach,
P.Fletch said. Zach, who was mad at P.Fletch at the time, said, Hannah, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to produce and star in a Broadway-style play without P.Fletch, and it'll be titled Stealing Money, the P.Fletch Saga.
I want to come,
P.Fletch said. No, Zach replied. So Hannah, Zach, and a bunch of other people flew to New York to start their show without P.Fletch. Or so they thought. Opening night, Zach had booked the entire auditorium. He played himself. Hannah played P.Fletch. 2 minutes till curtain, the stage manager called. Suddenly, screams erupted from the theater. The curtain flew open. A sadistic killer was murdering the audience. Zach ran to the killer and ripped off his mask. Phyllis? It was P.Fletch. She reached forward and slit Zach's throat wide open with her butcher's knife. He bled all over her. Hannah ran to P.Fletch and knocked the knife out of her hand. Bad idea. P.Fletch pounced on Hannah and snapped her neck, dead. 16. P.Fletch and her miniature friends were sitting bored for the last time. What do you guys want to do today? Hannah asked.
I want to go to the movies with my makeout friend, Richard Steinmetz,
P.Fletch responded. P.Fletch, I know what we're gonna do today, Zach said. We're gonna make a farewell video starring all of us, and Mr. Steinmetz. So Rich came over, and production began. The video was to star Zach, Hannah, and P.Fletch as the main characters. They were the three best friends, and Richard was P.Fletch's love interest. The video was supposed to document their final days together before Lucky Strikes disbanded because of the stupid cheater Beth Swigert. The video was coming along great. Only a few more scenes until the time for farewell. Surprisingly, P.Fletch was calm, cool, and collected. Shocker. Time for the passionate, romantic, sexy foot rub scene. Richard took a seat in the chair to massage P.Fletch's feet. Well, he thought they were P.Fletch's feet. Hannah had actually sat in the foot rub chair to get her feet massaged. P.Fletch came out of her dressing room to find Rich massaging Hannah's feet. P.Fletch ran across the room and grabbed Hannah by her ears. She pulled Hannah out of the chair by her ears and threw her across the room. She, Hannah, landed on a pile of spikes, each piercing her skin. P.Fletch then turned her attention to Richard.
I can't believe...
Where was he? Richard was gone. Maybe he was terrified by P.Fletch's brutal beating of Hannah. Or maybe he'd gone to poop. Probably poop. P.Fletch ran to the men's room. Ah, get out! Zach was in there, but not Richard. She ran into the girls' room. No Richard.
Where is he?
She looked everywhere for Richard, but he was nowhere to be found. Susie Baxter, P.Fletch's sworn enemy, had been spying. She had disguised herself as a man, named herself Richard Steinmetz. Then she accidentally rammed her car into P.Fletch's front door. Since P.Fletch is so stupid, she fell in love with Richard, and now Baxter's plan could take effect. Baxter's plan? Kill P.Fletch. She is dead, Dr. Nussbaum announced. Zach was shocked. He couldn't believe what he just heard. His close good friend had just passed away. Nay, his friend had been murdered. Ruthlessly killed. Destroyed. He would never, ever see her again. He couldn't believe she was really gone. He felt like crying. He couldn't believe Hannah was truly dead. P.Fletch had been searching for Richard for hours.
Where have you been?
She exclaimed. Richard walked in moments ago, drunker than a drunk guy on St. Patrick's Day. Well, if you must know, he passed out.
Stupid drunk,
she said. P.Fletch, what the heck did you do to Hannah? Zach exclaimed.
If you must know, I destroyed her,
P.Fletch said jokingly. She's dead, Zach yelled.
Oh. Oh well, she was annoying anyway.
She started to walk away to kill Richard. P.Fletch, if you kill this man, I will personally have you put in the prison system, a.k.a. jail.
Fine,
she replied. Zach sensed their friendship was at a fork in the road. Suddenly, Richard sat up, pistol in hand. In a surprisingly girly voice, he said,
Freeze, suckers.
Baxter?
Yes, it was Baxter. With the removal of a little makeup and a wig, and a fat suit, Baxter had been revealed. She grabbed Zach by the leg hair and dragged him to her car. What about P.Fletch, you ask? Baxter left her unconscious on the studio floor. She threw Zach in the trunk and closed the hatch. It'd be a 2-hour drive to where they were going. Baxter was taking all of the back county roads. Why? Just to make Zach as uncomfortable as possible. 2.5 hours later, Baxter pulled in her garage and cut the engine. She popped the trunk and ripped Zach out of the trunk by the eyelashes. I really have to pee, Zach said. Shut up, Baxter replied. She threw Zach down into the basement. He hit his head on every other stair and landed on his neck.
Oh well.
Baxter shut and locked the basement door. Hopefully Zach was still alive when P.Fletch arrived so she could see him be murdered before she herself was. 2.5 hours later, again, P.Fletch slowly gained consciousness. She had to save Zach. Where did Baxter live again? Wait, and who was Zach? Oh no, P.Fletch. You'd better not have amnesia. 4 hours later, P.Fletch arrived at Baxter's house. Little did she know, Zach was already dead. And soon, she would be too. P.Fletch ran inside Baxter's house.
What did you do with him?
She yelled.
Oh, P.Fletch, I didn't hear you come in. How do you do?
Baxter asked.
Don't play your mind games on me. Where is Zach?
P.Fletch yelled.
Somewhere in the basement. Jeez, over dramatic.
Baxter replied. P.Fletch threw the basement door open and leaped down all 270 stairs. Once at the bottom, she saw Zach's dead body. Mangled, twisted, peed on by Baxter's cat. Bloody, gross. P.Fletch teared up, then ran up the stairs.
Baxter!
She yelled.
I hope you're ready to die.
There was a note on the table.
P.Fletch, Come to Victory Lanes ASAP. Sincerely, Susie Baxter, your nemesis.
She crumpled the note and hopped in her car. She was going to kill Baxter once and for all. She arrived at Victory in 5 minutes. She ran out of her car and into the bowling alley.
Oh my God.
P.Fletch was shocked. All the seats in the bowling alley were filled with dead bodies. People she knew, loved, kissed, dated, married. Makeout friend from high school. Roger the ticket guy. Her ex-husband. Ed Kelsey. Dick Swanger. Gil Grissom. Donald. Lisa Harker. Carrie's black friend. Carrie's husband Dion. Lori. Everybody P.Fletch ever knew. Wow.
Hello, P.Fletch.
Baxter emerged from the dead bodies wearing a coat.
What is this?
P.Fletch asked.
Well, P.Fletch.
Please, stop calling me P.Fletch. I'm Phyllis Ann Fletcher. Zach is dead, so I am just Phyllis.
Phyllis interrupted.
Okay, Phyllis. I just wanted to torture you before I killed you.
Baxter said.
How are you gonna kill me, huh? What are you gonna...
Baxter slowly opened her coat, revealing several tons of bombs strapped to her.
Oh.
Phyllis said.
Yeah, so, goodbye, Phyllis.
No!
Baxter blew herself, Phyllis, Victory Lanes, and all the dead bodies up. Farewell, P.Fletch. Farewell indeed. End.
Yeah, and that's the last time I'm making macaroni and cheese.